Welcome back. After a Supreme Court directive, the CBI has clamped down on a man who had uploaded videos of Indian women being raped onto social networking sites. Now, we've been closely tracking the work of the activist Sunitha Krishnan and her Shame the Rapist campaign. And we look at the larger issues here, the sick minds that not only film gang rapes, but upload them for perverse thrills and sheer commerce. Can these crimes on social media be effectively stopped?
This man is accused by the CBI of uploading 3 out of 10 objectionable clips that were brought to the notice of the Supreme Court. The court had asked the CBI to find the people responsible, and they traced the source of 3 of the clips to Bengaluru. The accused, Kaushik Corner, is in his early 30s. A 12th standard pass, he has done a course at ITI. And CBI sources say they recovered almost 500 clips from him. Initial investigation has revealed that some of these clips had been sent to him online by others, and that they had been edited for greater voyeuristic effect. A CBI release said the agency used sophisticated cyber forensic software and interfaced with internet service providers to find out who had uploaded the videos. The accused's house was searched and digital evidence was obtained of his uploading these clips. It took the intervention of activist Sunitha Krishnan to get authorities involved. She launched a Shame the Rapist campaign some months ago after being shocked by rape videos that were being shared on social media. After this arrest, she tweeted, "Shame the Rapist campaign. Kaushik Warner of Bangalore arrested for uploading rape video on WhatsApp. One more video tackled. Hats off to CBI." The uploading and sharing of objectionable material, even rape, has been going on for years, and it will be a huge task to try and put an end to this kind of illegal activity. But the Supreme Court directive and the arrests that have started are hopefully a message to people that they cannot get away with this kind of illegal and cruel behavior forever. With Alphonse Raj, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Well, joining us now, the activist Dr. Sunitha Krishnan. We've been tracking her work very, very closely. I'm also joined by Pawan Duggal. He's an advocate at the Supreme Court and president of cyberlaws.net. And Chinmaya Arun joins us as well. She's an assistant professor of law at the National Law University, Delhi. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Dr. Krishnan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I think, okay, fine. So I just, we had this discussion, Dr. Krishnan, several weeks ago when you got all of this data coming into you of these horrific rapes being committed and then people filming them and uploading it onto social media. Do you finally believe that the action being taken today, and this is not the first instance, there have been other instances since then of the police across the country being serious about ending this menace once and for all? Because when we spoke several weeks back, you felt that no one was really taking you very seriously, and it took the Supreme Court to intervene in this case.
Vishnu, I continue to feel the same, although it's my feeling that we have taken a very small step. Okay. This is the first time that an uploader of rape videos has been arrested. But we have to go a long way before we even can prove our commitment to fight sex crimes, because from February 6, 2015, when I started the Shame the Rapist campaign, till date, every day I'm getting rape videos. Supreme Court has directed only for the 9 rape videos that I've initially handed over to be investigated. There are hundreds of more videos like this that has to be investigated for a deterrence to happen and something to move.
No, but Sunitha, tell me this. There are 2 aspects to this. One is the entire uploading on social media, the commerce, it going from place to place, and lakhs of thousands of people at the very least accessing it. And then there are the horrific crimes itself. Now, the person arrested today was not somebody who had committed the rape or was part of that. He was a technology person. He was just distributing the videos. What about the perpetrators of the crime, the rapists themselves? Has there been any progress in at least a few of these videos of identifying the rapists? That perhaps
absolutely.
is... Yeah.
Yeah, Vishnu, I think there has been some progress. In fact, the particular rape video that CBI was tracking, and they found this Kaushik chap in Bangalore, is of one Happy Singh, who belongs to Sitapur, who was arrested
Yes.
of raping a girl, and 2 arrests have been made in Orissa. One of Subrata Sahu and Debasis Dev. So altogether, 2 or 3 arrests have happened. But, a lot more people have been identified. And one thing very significant about all these offenders is that they're not first-time offenders. They are people who are repeat offenders. They have done it before. So somehow all the crime they have committed, I don't think that has been tackled. But today with this Kaushik's arrest, there has been a significant small step, I would say, that the people who have disseminated such videos, people who have circulated such videos, it's kind of a warning to them.
Right.
For so many years, nothing happened to them.
Okay.
They were all happily circulating
Okay.
it and spreading it around the world.
Chinmay Arun, let me ask you this. On the one hand, there are horrific crimes which are being committed, gang rapes in several of these cases that Sunita speaks about. That gets onto social media sites, that gets onto to WhatsApp and the like, and it's distributed in many instances for money. On the other hand, there is pornography, which pervades. India is perhaps the second largest consumer of pornography in the world. Is there a problem in allowing pornography in a free country while clamping down on the crimes that Sunita is talking about?
I don't think so. I was actually very encouraged by the story, and I have to congratulate the CBI on its quick action. Just because they have identified a single person that has been responsible for circulating all of these videos of people that have not given their consent to being filmed. And so we have to get these categories right. So there are no circumstances in which it is okay to circulate this kind of material about children. And I understand that these people were circulating this kind of material about children as well. The second issue here is that there have been lots of videos containing content of women who did not consent, and that's not okay either. It's a crime under the IPC, under the Indian Penal Code, after the criminal law amendments proposed by the Justice Verma Committee. Now, all of that is a little bit different from some categories of what you would call professional pornography, because that's done by consenting adults. Now, distributing pornography is also illegal in India, but the key difference over here is that watching pornography is not illegal in India, whereas watching child pornography is illegal, and watching material which depicts a woman that did not give her consent for circulation of that material, that's also illegal. And so these categories are really valuable because they focus on the notion of consent, which is, I think, something that Dr. Krishnan also emphasizes quite a lot when she's discussing sexual violence and videos that pertain to that.
Okay. Pawan Duggal, ultimately, it was actually quite impressive the manner in which the police were able to clamp down in this particular case. They used some very sophisticated software and were able to track down this one person. Now, typically that's very difficult because the servers of, say, WhatsApp and other groups are not in India at all. Last time when we were having this conversation, you had mentioned that it's almost impossible for Indian police forces to be able to crack down, but that seems to be changing somewhat.
It seems to be changing, but still it's a long road ahead, for the very simple reason that a lot of this incriminating electronic evidence is based on servers located outside the territorial boundaries of India. So when ultimately, arrest is one issue, when ultimately you're going towards conviction, now with the changed laws of the land pertaining to electronic evidence, a big amount of onus of proof is going to be upon the prosecution to prove how it is actually used, the so-called forensic evidence, how it's actually extracted the relevant logs from the service provider, which must be in sync with the law of the land laid down by the Supreme Court.
So in other words,
Anwar
it's not
versus
just
Bashir.
enough to locate the person who has uploaded a certain video.
Well, it's the beginning of a journey.
Okay.
The journey, real journey begins when the matter goes in court. Because now after the Supreme Court judgment in Anwar versus P.K. Bashir, it's crystal clear. The appropriate certifications will have to be obtained and will have to be filed along with the incriminating electronic evidence, and it must really then actually go ahead and pass the scrutiny of the court of law. That only becomes it admissible The
Right.
issue of reliability, of genuineness of this entire issue is a different ball game altogether. So we are just a beginning of a long journey. The final destination will be when we will be able to get them convicted. And there are a lot of challenges as we go forward.
Sunita, is that a view that you share? That, you know, I mean, it's a very small first step in identifying and in shaming these rapists and shaming the people who've uploaded these videos. But in bringing them to justice, that's another process altogether. And the fact that the information has come through social media, through electronic means, perhaps makes the legal case more challenging?
Absolutely, Vishnu, I totally agree with what Pawan is saying, because there's a long way to go before we actually reach justice. But every small step is also deterrence. One of the rape videos where two rapists or the offenders were arrested from Orissa
Yes.
is a 2010 video. For 5 years, these videos are in circulation. For 5 years, even in the worst of their nightmare, these men did not think that they will get ever arrested at all. It's the first time that they are getting arrested. Subrata Sahu and Devashish Dev, who were arrested a month back. So I think every small step is moving towards that justice, because every small step is giving a message to the society that this is not going to be tolerated. Not everybody is going to keep quiet and watch it, and watch it with pleasure. Because one of the things that's really bothering me, apart from the justice and criminal justice system, is as a society, what are we becoming? We talk about this Kaushik guy who had 500 clips of rape videos, which also means that we have a very huge consumer who are asking for such rape videos through WhatsApp. Why are people circulating it? Why is it not getting deleted or reported? So, when every step you take, a message goes for the user also that this is not done. This is not something that will be tolerated. So I think every step is important before we reach the final destination, but long way to go before we reach the final destination.
Chinmay, I just want you to reflect perhaps on what I was asking you a little while earlier on. There are many countries in the world where pornography in all forms is completely illegal. It cannot be disseminated. It shouldn't be disseminated. And therefore laws, crimes against women are cut down dramatically. In our country, we value our freedom of speech and expression. And therefore we believe that some kinds of footage, of videos, of pornography, it's available and people get to access that. Do you believe there need to be stronger laws to cut down on all pornography and in the process cut down on the crimes which Sunita is talking about?
I think that's an artificial distinction. I don't think that anyone has established with any clarity that countries that have free speech rules that permit the circulation of pornography have a higher incidence of violence against women. We have to remember that pornography does not necessarily involve objectification of women. There are different categories. It could involve only men, for example. And so we should not confuse the idea of an open conversation about sex with sexual violence. I think that the specific category of videos that we're talking about this time are videos they're candid videos of people that did not give their consent. And that's very different from pornography made by consenting adults. As a feminist, I would say consenting adults that are not pressurized into making these films, because the story of Linda Lovelace is well known about, yes. She used to make pornographic videos and everyone would say that, well, she chose to do so, but the truth was that her husband was beating her and she didn't have a choice. Now that is not true of everybody that makes pornography, because it comes in many categories. So what I really like about this case is that it identifies this category of people who have not consented. It recognizes the fact that if these videos are circulating in social media, it's not just because the technology exists, but because a single person in Bangalore has found a market and has been disseminating it. And I think that the lawmakers in this case have done exactly the right thing, which is that if you want to stop the distribution of videos of non-consenting people, videos of vulnerable groups like children, then you find the person that is responsible for circulating most of it and you arrest them through traditional modes of investigation. Where we start making mistakes is if we have a reactionary sort of knee-jerk policy making
And
that says
say
that,
ban
okay,
it
now
all.
we
So
will
that
ban
doesn't
all
work.
obscene
Right.
content because we think that that achieves less sexual violence. May I remind you that in Saudi Arabia there is sexual violence, but that's a country that is actually very strict about the kind of speech that takes place. So I think that that is
I take that point
connection.
completely. Sunita, again, this is something that we discussed the first time that we had this conversation several weeks back. There are sick minds and there are sick people across our country who are willing not just to be engaged in rape in this manner, but are willing to make money out of it. And it seems so difficult to quantify the numbers of people who may be involved in this sort of thing. Could you, as we close this program, give us an idea of the numbers of videos or complaints or concerns that you are receiving on a daily basis, to perhaps give us some sort of idea of how widespread this problem is?
Vishnu, I don't claim that all the videos have reached me, but in the last 3 months from February onwards, I have got more than 90 videos. 90 videos sent by concerned citizens to me. And what is very scary is the videos are from every part of the country, meaning there is not a single state that these videos don't come from. This particular video where this Kaushik has been arrested is a video of a rape that happened in Sitapur in Uttar Pradesh. And the uploader is somebody sitting in Bangalore. So, there is a kind of a pan-India kind of operation. We can't say that this is happening only in this part of the country or that part of the country. It's happening across the country. And what is also shocking for me is that I have seen each of the 90 videos that have come to me. There are videos of child rape. There are videos of rape by middle class people. There are videos of, some young couples being accosted in lonely places. Videos of rape in moving cars. So it's very frightening to even see the nature and magnitude of the videos, and therefore what comes to me very strongly is whatever response, and this is something that I've been really fighting for, and I've been recommending it in the Supreme Court also. It's part of my petition in the Supreme Court also, is that there is a need for a central task force to fight sex crimes today, and there is a need for say a public friendly mechanism which is anonymous, where people can anonymously report such videos. I cannot become some kind of a national resource directory of rape videos, which is what I am becoming right now. So there is a need for a response system to be put in.
Absolutely.
And what is now happening through the Supreme Court's intervention is only investigation of these 9 rape videos.
All right.
But what about the hundreds of other rape videos which is actually coming
I'm
to
afraid
me?
we're completely
And now,
out of time
with all
this
those
evening,
gentlemen
Sunita,
also,
to discuss
500 clips have been
this case any further on this particular program, but we will keep coming back to you to discuss this. And absolutely the message that there needs to be a larger government-led task force which is in the business of actually looking into what is circulating, what are some of the crimes there when it comes to crimes against women, crimes which are being circulated on social media. That is obviously a larger concern, and thank you very much for sharing it. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. Out of time completely. Thanks for being with us.